Yeah, Janko, you need to take them to a basketball game in Serbia and show them what proper chanting is and all that kind of volume and action. It looks pretty crazy, the videos that he's shown us, but basketball aside, it's Counter-Strike time. We're going to be on... Thank you very much, Paul. So, indeed, Train is coming up between these two teams. Vega Squadron, I think it's reasonable to say that they've got nothing to lose coming into this major. Would you think that's a fair statement?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, just to see some of the fearlessness that we saw, as you know, noted by Janko on the desk there against Dintas, to allow them to get into this position where they are actually at the major, they can show that level of commitment, just as Paul showed quite the commitment there to his little, I don't know, just victory. He
was all in. It was an all-in play.
Yeah, that was pretty. I mean, I'll give him that.
Over the line.
I'll give him that. Yeah, exactly. I'll give him that. So, yeah, I think you know, Vega from that perspective, it's very hard for teams to necessarily have a lot of understanding how to play against them. But at the same time, if you are a team like Immortals, you know, you've got experience in these kinds of situations. You know, I think every top-level team understands the best way to approach an underdog type team where you don't know necessarily all the information about how they play, and generally it's just relying on the fundamentals. You don't have to take any risks. You can just rely on having, you know, again, better fundamental Counter-Strike, you know, more individual skill, allow them to make the mistakes, and then you punish them, and then you win the match, and then boom, you're done. That's usually how you want to go with this.
I think this particular matchup here is interesting for Vega Squadron, and I'm very curious to see how they will perform once things begin for them. I think this is there's an opportunity for them, definitely. You know, going into a lot of matches here, I think they're going to be, well, an underdog almost all the time, if not all the time. But I think this might be one. You know, Immortals, we've seen their own struggles as well, trying to get into the major to begin with. So maybe those struggles will continue in this match. We will soon find out on Train. Match number 4 today. Many more matches to come. Vega Squadron with the shark logo.
It's hard to get a good map or really find a map where I think you can have an edge against a team like Immortals. Again, just generally due to the fact that they're a really strong team at the moment, and they've been preparing very heavily, and the map pool has been getting better and better. And we are about to kick things off here between Immortals and Vega Squadron. Immortals on the T side, which I think is going to be a lot of fun, seeing how they try to open up the map when they get the money rolling. But that's the question: who will get the money rolling first? We have the pistol rounds to find out.
Two CTs moving over towards the pop dog position. The steel will pop in and pop out. Very brief indeed. Bomb's got headed towards Ivy. Could be a split towards the A side. It seems that's quite likely. Flashbang being very careful, meticulous, moving into the site around the bomb train now. And so is Mir. He's good for one. He'll get taken down pretty quickly. Headshots continue to fly in though. JR taking some down, and the CTs are raining in the kills now, leaving Henny alone versus 4, and he won't last very long. Hutchie with another kill in that round to finish things off. 2 quick kills for him, and there goes the pistol. Good start for Vega.
Yeah, and you know, you really like to see that when you're on that CT side, able to get those orbs in a timely manner. However, of course, with no bomb plant, we're going to see a force buy from Immortals, and Vega Squadron are going to understand that as well. And it's interesting to see, you know, which way teams go with this on the CT perspective, because some CT sides are thinking, okay, we'll get, you know, small rifles, we'll try to play those longer ranges, we'll expect some of those smokes to go down, we'll wait for the smokes, we'll get the retake in. Or you can go for this approach, play closer ranges with the UMPs, you've got more utility to fight back against the execution of the T's, whatever it may be. And we can see that they're not going to have any grenades because they didn't get that bomb down. So Vega Squadron do have a lot of advantages to play with, but you never know in CSGO, and Kianji definitely didn't know what hit him there. That's a lot of damage from that nade. One of the only players without any Kevlar, unfortunately.
There's time for Immortals though, and they are all still alive. But how do they get the... Well, I mean, looking at the setup on B, I think that's probably their best opportunity to get the bomb down.
There you go.
And they might not win the round, but we'll see. Through CT spawn back into the B bomb site. So it's a 2-2 setup, and JR getting quite tagged. So problems may be compounded here for the CT side.
That's a really nice play from Immortals, but they are definitely having some trouble now that the UMPs are getting to work on them. However, great damage is done by Bolt. Previously leading JR's so low in the yard. Maybe there's an opportunity in this 2 versus 2. And he does not have any Kevlar and only a P250, but they should be able to close this one down here. Immortal with a real chance to win this round now as Hutchie closes in, but he's going to get closed down as Henry will bring the P250 to bear there, and Immortal stealing away a round off of the force buy. Very sad stuff for Vega Squadron. Again, it can always happen. Really nice opening Deagle frag that we saw onto Kashanda.
He will reset the situation.
And now
try to get what little he can out of this. So now I just have like 9 redundant CSGO accounts. But enough about me. It is time for the buy from both teams. 3-1 in favour of Immortals. Both teams on the buy. JR with the sole AWP. Might be fun to watch in this one.
Yeah, we see a lot of alley pressure coming in from Immortals early into the rounds. GR the one to be the challenger potentially, although we'll have smokes to begin with, which will certainly hamper any visibility. Either side, using the, or rather checking the gap in the smoke, and Boltsy's made his way quickly to a lot of people affectionately call Olafmeister. That's a very fast position out of teammate. Going for a pick-off though. It's looking great here for Vega initially. Kashanda with another one as now it looks like Immortal's committed into the play, out of alley, looking for more kills, but still a really good defense. We see Vega just sort of just collapsing back into the bomb train, using the team play very effectively so far.
Another shot there from JR. It's 2 versus 1. Doable for KNG. That's a very nice fast headshot onto Chopper. Moving up data quietly now. Spots JR, but JR quick on the trigger.
face of Lucas, but the bomb did go down.
Oh, tagging Henny through the corner of the door, and he's going back for more. He knows he's tagged him, coming out with a pistol, and Henny maybe expecting that someone else will peek. Ends up going down for free, leaving Bolts on the high ground. Smokes on the bomb. They may touch it, but there's two men to try and defend things here. Bolts can find himself an angle. He's looking for people apart from the diffuser, and it will be diffused in the smoke. The round has been successful for Vega Squadron. And somehow, that is a hero play from them again. They would have been in so much trouble if they'd lost that round, and the odds were stacked against them, but they made it work. Steel charging into the B bomb site. He picks one player off, gets the molly out, because very common it's that the CTs will have only one person in the B bomb site, doesn't expect the second one there. But JR, a massive play from him to bring his team back into it.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, just seeing the focus there from Henny. Despite the flames being down, JR had just killed one of his teammates there, so perhaps maybe a miscommunication or an oversight, but whatever it was a round for Vega Squadron, and they tied things up indeed. But the money's still flowing here for Immortals to have a full buy, and we'll see Steel picking up a kill as an aggression comes in from Chopper there towards the inner bomb site, and that is such a fantastic position. Aim pick off again here for Immortals. That is two men down right at the start of the round. You can't really ask for anything more than that for the beginning of your T round.
Difficult times again for Vega. Two of their three players in the A side trying to make a difference. Now Bolt's exposed. Only the flashbang going downstairs, so next to no damage in response, but still man advantages for Immortals. Henny with a great angle and the Molotov, forcing Hutchie into the open and taking him down like an innocent partridge, trying to escape. Shadow spotted by Henny, but he misses a shot. It's 2-on-4, however. He's got the numbers game. He'll be low on the ladder while his teammate is high, and that will be a free kill onto Kashanda. Just too many opponents. Mere 1600 in the bank. Vega Squadron about to get that reset button pressed by Immortals, and there it is. The last kill from Henny. Immortals in the lead once again.
A very back and forth affair. I like the fight that we're seeing out of Vega Squadron. Obviously, when you lose to that force buy in the second round, it's really, really tough to deal with, honestly. But they managed to get the momentum back fairly swiftly after only conceding 3 rounds in a row. And now it's obviously looking really interesting as far as the money is concerned. Immortal straight back into it. We get 4 HGs here for Vega Squadron. But is it going to be able to do much? Looks like they can't even really get much of a connection at all. And everybody is just going down to these AWPs. Mir finding one, but does get tagged as well. Oh wow, another kill coming in from Mir. Maybe more damage to be had here for him as he is still firing off with this deagle, but eventually he is shot down. And that's another round there for the Immortals side.
Well then. 5-3, and if you're Vega Squadron, the money absolutely sucks. And the problem with this is every round Immortals win compounds the problem for Vega Squadron, where if they win one round, Immortals are going to have the money to buy straight back again. And as we've seen in the previous round, if Vega Squadron win the round but they win with 1-2 people surviving, it's going to be hard for them to get that consecutive round, which gives them a thin layer of comfort. Lucas jumping into a bullet there. I think it was him, maybe it wasn't, who knows. Either way, business looks good for Immortals, of course. As I say that, the scout kill comes in from Kashanda. Opportunity knocks for Immortals. Lucas has been tagged down to 30 already. 2 AWPs versus a pistol and a mobile scout. This could be awkward for the Brazilians.
Yeah, and already, I mean, if let's say everything collapses from this point, they've done an amazing job so far to get so much damage in these rounds in which you would expect Immortals, where they would be counting on getting some clean rounds so they can build that money. But great pressure from Vega Squadron. Chopper still trying to get something done with the scout. Eventually will be taken out, but as mentioned, just a couple kills in the previous round with that deagle, couple kills here. It really adds up in just hampering the economy and its growth for Immortals. So we'll see whether Vega can actually capitalize on that previous damage now that they get their buy into play again. We have the AWP out, and JR is of course very dangerous with that. We've already seen some of the work that he is capable of. Now the question really is, where Immortals want to go, how they want to mix things up, because there's such a variety of strategies left for them to use. They have quite the playbook on train. See, the double AWP, of course, is very scary. Kianje and Henny both very aggressive. Henny looking for a forward play, using the cover of smokes here to get himself out there a little bit deeper than perhaps normal. At the same time, we've got Kianje working towards inner.
This position from KNJ is quite useful when the T's throw a smoke towards connector, because sometimes they can bait a CT to get up on there in the first place, since their vision has been obscured elsewhere. JR, he was over towards Ivy, maybe had a look towards main, and he was punished for that by Henny, who's holding down main on his own. 2 T's above Pop Dog and 2 around the B bomb site, so not exactly sure where Immortals may be headed. They've still got a minute on the clock with which to bring the ruckus, as Wu-Tang would say. Mir at the back of B, maybe going towards the spindles, and Chopper's ahead of him. Could throw a flash for his teammate if he had one, but he doesn't. In fact, Chopper's the only one with a flash, taking down the bot carrier, and he's creeping, misses the shot, tries to reposition, but he can't get another shot off in time.
Big play from Chopper there, and so far it's 2. Can he get anything else? It looks like Kishanda is going to start to create some distraction there. Chopper will go down to Kianji, but indeed Kishanda gets the job done from the flank, but still 2 more players left to find, and it's going to be a tough one. He's down to 21 health, of course, and these teams are spread out all over the place. It's very hard to predict where they're going to be coming from, and of course they have very good information of the 2 areas where Kinshanda can come from, so he's having really to assess it. Is this doable in the slightest? And I think he's come to the logical conclusion that with 21 health and
upper area, the T's threw a Molotov after he killed Henny. They threw a Molotov at Chopper in the upper position, but he was ahead of the Molotov as the bomb was being planted, so he could have run out and stopped it, because I mean, he doesn't know if someone's facing or not, but I guess it's 50-50, but he chose not to peek. If he stops the bomb from going down there, then the round may change, but decisions were made, and it goes the way of Immortals.
And I love that we got to capture that moment there, just the AWP battle between Henny and JR, because of course that's one of the scary things about Immortals, because you not only have to try to out-AWP and out-duel Henny, you also have to worry about Kianji as well. Of course we saw both AWPers respectively working the A side of the map and the B side of the map, so JR unable to best Henny in this instance, and we can see the repercussions here. They're pretty severe. Obviously, Vega Squadron in a pretty awful place, economically speaking, and Immortals are on 7 rounds now, so they're starting to look really good in this first half.
Yeah. connected position with the AWP, but can he land the shot? The aim punch will save Steel, and that is a wipeout. Nothing saved for Vega Squadron going into the future rounds.
Man, Steel should have a cape right now, James, because he just swooped in like Superman, saved the day. Because that was like, you get a guy just creeping through the white holes and just putting a deagle in Henny's back. Everyone's stuck at alley. You've given them an AWP. That is a hard situation to deal with, and I think a lot of teams just fall apart in that spot. Like, how do you assess the situation? It's so chaotic. There's not much time, but still, again, bailing him out. The previous IGL is now Bolts, of course, as mentioned, and we'll see Steel working towards the inner position. His team is playing very passively towards the other areas of the map. Ali very passive as well as the team in area. In fact, no one is remotely near team main at the moment. So Immortal's perhaps predicting aggression, but it's not to be just yet.
Yeah, change of pace from the Brazilians after all the madness that Steel has been pulling a lot of it over towards the B bomb site. And that might keep Vega Squadron entertained. It'll be interesting how they approach the site now that they've chosen to have a slow approach. You can see Henny's lining up some grenades with his teammates, so we may see a wall of smoke, but Kashanda's in a forward position. Will he choose to back off behind the smoke and play with his teammates, or will he stay there in isolation? It might be a one and done spot too if he's lucky. He hasn't moved an inch, but surely his silence is exposing his position from there as well. Seal, though, hasn't noticed anything just yet, and out he comes. No kills for Kashanda.
And the rest of his teammates are stuck behind smoke. Hutchie will hear the plant attempt, but he is being the victim of bullets from all over the place as Lucas just darts through the smoke there, aggressively finding multiple kills, leaving it just down to Mir and Chopper, but sorely out of position. Despite this, Mir will pick up a kill, but we can see that Immortals, after getting the bomb down, have sort of fallen back, taking superior positions, and Bolts, great couple kills from him there to finish off the round, and that's one more to add to the tally here for a very, very good scoreline.
You want at the moment in this stage of the tournament. 10-3. Vega winning pistol, but losing the force buy immediately afterwards. On the buy once again, JR on the AWP. In the few rounds they've won, we've seen he's been important. Henny out immediately, exposed to the high ground, but straight in the face, and it's JR he takes down. And again, we've seen JR, he's made some power plays to win some of the few rounds Vega Squadron have got, so for him to go down immediately.
4 round. So it hasn't. Brawl.
Well, maybe the worst is over for Vega Squadron because they were quite overwhelmed in a number of rounds, be them fast or slow, on their defensive half. But now it's their turn to try and set the pace. We have the glowing hair of Sapphire. She is our observer for the second half of today's matches, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it the first half? I think it's the first half, actually. Maybe this is our last game. Anyway, 5-10. Vega Squadron have it all to do. It's an important pistol round for them. 3 players on the Kevlar. Mia's gone for the Deagle. And there are some nice narrow angles. Oh, no. Blockerino! Oh dear, that's not a good start.
Oh, that feels bad, doesn't it? That feels bad. We've all been there. We've all been there. That was all so horrible.
That reminds me, I mentioned it once before, of some guy from a group of friends who was like a silver or something, made a highlight video. And he's like blocking his teammate and does 2 doors, and his teammate dies and he goes and kills the guy, and that's part of his highlight video. That's unreal.
That is amazing. Well, it's push now. Here it is. I like that we get this from Kianji's perspective. He's just like, what is happening right now?
I wonder if he shot his team.